You have less than 24 hours to prepare for what could be the most powerful day of 2026. On March 3rd, a rare cosmic event will not only occur in the skies, but will also align with a geological prediction in Hawaii and activate a specific code in your body. This is not a theory. It's a convergence of astronomy, geology, and energy biology. What you do or don't do on this day could define the course of your next life cycle. Most people will miss this window. They will only see a beautiful moon, but you will know that it is a liberation portal, designed to burn away old karma and dissolve patterns that keep you stuck. I will show you exactly what is happening, why the red color of the moon is the key to your transformation, and the 3-step method you need to follow to not only witness, but use this energy to your advantage. Stay with me until the end, because the last phase of this method is what seals the transformation, and without it, the whole process may be in vain. If you feel you are on the cusp of a major change, comment, "I am ready for the transition." This video didn't reach you by chance. There's a specific frequency being emitted, a resonance between your personal journey and the rapidly approaching cosmic event. It's a subtle, almost inaudible feeling of urgency. The perception that an important cycle is about to close, while another, more aligned and true, awaits to begin. You feel it in moments of silence, in the repetition of patterns that have become unsustainable, in the hunger for something that doesn't yet have a name. This restlessness is not a system error, it's a signal. The universe is about to mirror a profound transformation that is already happening within you, in your cells, in your consciousness. The blood moon of March 3rd, 2026 is not just an astronomical event to be observed. It is a catalyst, an ignition point for this inner change, an alignment that makes visible what was previously just a feeling, an intuition that something greater is in motion. Think of it as a cosmic tuning fork. The sky will vibrate at a specific note, and everything on Earth that shares that same frequency will be activated. Your readiness for change, your desire for clarity, your exhaustion with what no longer serves you, all of this tunes you into what is to come. It's not about luck or blind fate, it's about resonance. You are being called because a part of you has already responded, and now the universe is materializing the invitation. This event is not for everyone. Many will only see a reddish moon, a curious spectacle in the night sky. But for those who are awake to synchronicity, for those who feel the weight and promise of this moment, it will be a turning point. An opportunity to recalibrate one's own timeline, to release burdens that are not theirs, and to align with a more authentic version of themselves. The urgency you feel is your future self pulling you forward. Synchronicity is the language of reality. The fact that you are here, listening to these words, is the first piece of the puzzle falling into place. It is confirmation that your inner journey has found its outer counterpart. And if I told you that this outer correspondent is not random? The ancient Egyptians already knew this intelligence as the Logos, the language of creation. They believe that there is an architect behind these frequencies, a figure that history calls Thoth, the master of the moon and of time, who left engraved the codes for us to decipher exactly what this 2026 event is trying to activate within us. If you feel that you need to go beyond what the eyes can see and want to understand the sacred science that governs this transition, I strongly recommend that you check out our new ebook, The Logos Code, The History and Knowledge of Thoth. It is not just a history book, but the key for you to understand how to use your own vibration to write your reality, instead of simply suffering the influences of the eclipse. It is about reclaiming the role of architect of your own life. I left the link for you to access this ancestral knowledge in the first pinned comment below. It is the next step for those who already understand that this awakening has no turning back. The macrocosm and the microcosm are about to dance together, and you've been invited to center stage, not to watch, but to actively participate in the choreography that will define your next life cycle. This is not an invitation for mere passive observation. It is a call for conscious participation. What happens in the sky is merely a reflection of what can happen within you. The blood moon is the arena, the stage where your personal transformation can be accelerated exponentially. It is a window of opportunity that opens for those who have the courage to look at their own shadow, reflected in the scarlet face of the moon. What's at stake is your ability to break free from old narratives, to close chapters that have dragged on for years, perhaps lifetimes. The energy available today doesn't favor the creation of something new, but rather the radical purification of what already exists. It's a portal of liberation. And to cross it, you need to understand the precise mechanics of what's happening, the cosmic dance that projects the shadow of our own world onto our emotional mirror. At 11:34 a.m. Universal Time, Earth will position itself with almost inconceivable mathematical precision between the sun and the moon. This celestial ballet, known as syzygy, is a moment of perfect alignment, a straight line drawn through space. At that instant, our planet will cast its shadow, the umbra, directly onto the lunar face. For more than an hour, the moon, our collective emotional mirror, will be immersed in the darkness projected from our own world. This is not a simple blockage of light. It is an act of revelation. The Earth's shadow, the umbra, is a cone of darkness that carries the energetic signature of all humanity. All our unresolved hopes, fears, joys, and pains are contained within this shadow that we are about to project onto the body that governs our emotions. The moon is not merely being eclipsed, it is being baptized in the essence of our earthly experience, making visible what we collectively carry. Consider the precision of this event. For a brief moment, the mechanism of our solar system reveals itself in its silent and relentless glory. There is no room for error. It is a demonstration of cosmic order, a reminder that there are greater laws at work, far beyond our control and comprehension. And at this exact moment of alignment, a door opens. The shadow, normally invisible, becomes the protagonist, demanding to be seen and acknowledged. The moon represents our subconscious, our instinctive reactions, our past, and our lineage. When the Earth's shadow covers it, it's as if our own subconscious is confronted with the darkness it generates. It's a mirror looking into another mirror, creating an infinite portal of self-reflection. What you have avoided looking at within yourself will be projected externally, painted in shades of red in the night sky so that it can no longer be ignored. This phenomenon exposes the fundamental duality of our existence. The Earth, our physical and material home, blocks the sunlight, our source of life and spiritual consciousness, from reaching the moon, our emotional body. It is matter obstructing the spirit from illuminating emotion. This cosmic drama is an exact representation of our daily internal struggle, the conflict between our physical reality and our spiritual aspirations, with our emotions caught in the middle. Immersion in the umbra is a reset. It's like immersing a device in a powerful magnetic field to clear its corrupted data. During this hour, the moon, and by extension our emotional field, will undergo a forced recalibration. Habitual emotional patterns, automatic responses, and triggers that govern our lives lose their power. It's a unique opportunity to observe our emotions without the usual baggage, to see them as they truly are. This plunge into darkness is not an end, but a point of transition. It is the necessary vacuum before a new creation. The darkness of the umbra is not empty. It is fertile, full of potential. It is the dark soil where the seed of our new consciousness can finally germinate, free from the weeds of the past. But this darkness has always been feared. And the echoes of this ancestral fear still resonate in our blood, reminding us of the power that night has always exerted over the human soul. The disappearance of light has always haunted and fascinated humanity. Before science explained celestial mechanics, the darkening of the moon was a terrifying event, a divine sign, an omen of chaos. Ancient civilizations didn't see a planetary alignment. They saw the world order being threatened. The dread was real, visceral. It was believed that the forces of darkness were winning the battle against the light, and that the very survival of the world was at stake. The Maya, masters of celestial observation, interpreted the lunar eclipse as a cosmic attack. In their codices, the image of a celestial jaguar, a being of power and darkness, devouring the moon goddess, is recurrent. For them, it was not a metaphor. It was a real event on the spiritual plane that demanded an immediate response on the physical plane. Complex rituals, sacrifices, and prayers were performed to strengthen the moon and restore cosmic balance, to ensure that the light returned. In ancient China, the myth was different, but the fear was the same. A great, invisible dragon that lived in the sky was swallowing the moon. The population's response was to create as much noise as possible. Drums, gongs, pots, and pans were banged incessantly to scare the beast and force it to spit the moon back out. It was a collective act, an entire community united in a defense against the forces of chaos. Sound was the weapon to protect the light. These ancestral fears haven't disappeared. They've merely changed form. They echo in our DNA, in our nervous system, like a dormant cellular memory. The subtle anxiety many feel during an eclipse, the sensation that something is out of place, is the voice of these ancestors whispering in our blood. They remind us of a profound truth. Darkness has always been a portal, a threshold between the known world and mystery, between the profane and the sacred. Reverence was born from fear, because in the disappearance of light, man was forced to confront his own fragility. Without the familiar light of the moon to guide the night, the world became a different place, more dangerous and more magical. It was a moment when the veils between worlds thinned, and contact with the divine or the demonic became more likely. The eclipse was an event that demanded introspection, silence, and respect. Today, armed with the knowledge of astronomy, we risk losing that reverence. We reduce the miracle to a mere equation of orbits and shadows, emptying the event of its symbolic power. But the human psyche has not forgotten. The soul still recognizes the eclipse as a sacred moment, a call to pause, to look up, and more importantly, to look inward. Science explains the how, but ancestral wisdom reminds us of the why. This eclipse on March 3rd invites us to reclaim that reverence. To understand that, although we know the moon will return, something within us may not be the same. Ancestral fear can be transmuted into respect and dread into power. We are being invited to participate in a modern ritual, one that honors both the precision of science and the depth of myth. And the key to this modern alchemy lies in the very color the moon will assume, a color born from a planetary filter. The color that will give the phenomenon its name, the blood moon, is not a sign of violence but the result of an extraordinary alchemy of light. When the earth comes between the sun and the moon, its atmosphere acts as a giant lens, a cosmic filter. Most of the direct sunlight is blocked, but the light that passes through the edges of our planet is transformed. It is a process of refraction and scattering that reveals a hidden truth about light. Earth's atmosphere scatters high-frequency light waves, such as blue and violet. That's why our sky is blue during the day. However, Low-frequency light waves, shades of red and orange, are less affected. They manage to pass through the dense layer of air and continue their journey through space. During a total eclipse, this filtered red light is the only one that manages to reach the moon, bathing its surface in a scarlet glow. It's the same physics that colors our sunrises and sunsets. In both cases, sunlight is traveling through a larger portion of Earth's atmosphere, allowing only the warm tones to reach our eyes. But in the context of an eclipse, the meaning deepens. The light that paints the moon red is literally the light of all the sunsets and all the sunrises on Earth happening at the same time, projected into space. This carries powerful symbolism. The light of pure consciousness, represented by the sun, is being filtered through the dense atmosphere of our collective experiences, of our human condition. The dust, the pollution, the clouds, everything that makes up our atmosphere, participates in this filtering. The result is a light that is no longer pure and white, but transformed, marked, tinged by the journey through our world. It is proof that even in total darkness, a transformed light survives. The blood moon, therefore, is not a dark moon, but a moon illuminated by the essence of our own experience. It shows us that darkness is not the absence of light, but the presence of a different light, a light that has gone through a process, that carries a history. It is the light of wisdom, not of innocence. It is the beauty that emerges not despite the density, but because of it. The color red is the symbol of life, of blood, of passion, of survival. This phenomenon teaches us about the nature of our own spiritual journey. Often, we believe that enlightenment is about achieving a state of untouched purity, free from the impurities of life. But the blood moon shows us a different path. True alchemy happens when our higher consciousness, sun, passes through our humanity, earth, and emerges not diminished but enriched, capable of illuminating our emotions, moon, with a new depth and compassion. This red light is a beacon in the darkness, a reminder that our strength does not come from avoiding the shadow, but from traversing it. It is the courage to remain present even when the direct light disappears. And in this particular eclipse, this convergence of shadow and light transformed in the sky will find a powerful echo, a direct resonance with the primordial forces awakening in the heart of our own planet, uniting fire and shadow. The energy of this eclipse is not limited to the sky. It reverberates beneath our feet in a direct dialogue with the body of the planet. Geologists and volcanologists point to an extraordinary convergence, a synchronicity that amplifies the power of this moment to an almost mythical level. The episodic activity of the Kilauea volcano in Hawaii, one of the places with the greatest visibility of the eclipse, is predicted to peak around the same date. The pulse of the earth is aligning with the pulse of the sky. Kilauea is no ordinary volcano. In Hawaiian tradition, it is the abode of Pele, the goddess of fire, volcanoes, and creation. She is a force of nature, volatile, destructive, and immensely creative. A goddess who destroys the old earth to create a new one. The possibility of her dance, the eruption of lava, coinciding with the moment the moon turns scarlet, is an alchemical union of rare proportions. The fire of the earth and the shadow in the sky are about to meet. This is not a random coincidence. It is an amplification. The energy of the eclipse, which is already powerful in itself, is being anchored and magnified by the geological energy of the earth. It is as if the planet is responding to the celestial event, adding its own voice to the chorus. The shadow that invites us to introspection and release is being combined with the purifying fire that burns away the old and fertilizes the soil for new growth. This convergence creates a bridge between the cosmic and the chthonic, between heaven and the underworld. The eclipse pulls us upward, towards the contemplation of the great celestial mechanics, while the volcano pulls us downward, towards the visceral and raw reality of Earth's power. We are being positioned precisely at the meeting point of these two immense forces. It is an invitation for us to be the channel through which heaven and earth can communicate. Hawaii, located in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, functions as the heart of the planet, an acupuncture point for Earth. What happens there reverberates throughout the globe through tectonic plates and ocean currents. The conjunction of the eclipse with volcanic activity in this specific location suggests that the liberation and purification proposed by this event are not only individual but also planetary. Earth is undergoing its own karmic liberation. Whether you are in Hawaii or thousands of miles away, this energy will be available. Resonance is not limited by geography. Pele's awakening and the moon's plunge into shadow create a unified energy field that will encompass the entire planet. You will feel this as an intensification of your emotions, an urgency to act, a need to purge what is stagnant in your life. The inner fire and the inner shadow are being called to dance together. The union of fire and shadow is the core of the great alchemical work. It is the fusion of opposites to create something new, a third reality. This eclipse is not only showing us our shadow, it is offering us the fire to transmute it. It is an opportunity to burn old contracts, to melt rigid structures, and to allow a new version of ourselves to emerge from the ashes, forged by the meeting of heaven and earth. And the first step on this journey is direct confrontation. When the earth, our physical and material body, blocks the sunlight, our consciousness, from illuminating the moon, our emotional world, we are forced into an inevitable confrontation. A confrontation with our own darkness. This eclipse serves as a living, pulsating metaphor for Carl Jung's concept of the shadow. That part of ourselves that we repress, deny, and hide, not only from others, but primarily from ourselves. It is everything we decide we are not. The shadow contains our most primitive instincts, our unacceptable emotions like anger, envy, and greed, and our undeveloped potential. It is not inherently evil. It is merely unconscious. And the more we ignore it, the denser and more powerful it becomes, projecting itself into our lives in unexpected ways. It manifests as self-sabotage, as harsh judgment of others, as inexplicable accidents, and as an attraction to people and situations that mirror what we deny in ourselves. A total lunar eclipse is the moment when the universe forces us to stop projecting. By covering the moon with the Earth's shadow, it tells us, "This is yours." This darkness you see in the sky is a reflection of the darkness you carry within yourself. It is an invitation to radical honesty, a moment to withdraw our projections from the world, and recognize that what most irritates or bothers us in others is often an unrecognized aspect of ourselves. This confrontation is not meant to shame us, but to integrate us. The goal is not to destroy the shadow, but to bring light to it. Integrating the shadow means recognizing and accepting these hidden parts, recovering the immense amount of vital energy we spend keeping them repressed. By embracing our anger, we can access our assertiveness. By acknowledging our envy, we can discover our true desires. The shadow is a buried treasure. During the hour of the eclipse, the veil between the conscious and unconscious mind becomes extremely thin. Memories, feelings, and truths that have been deeply buried can surface with surprising clarity. It is a moment of vulnerability and power. Vulnerability because we will be exposed to our own naked truth. Power because, by seeing the truth, we finally gain the ability to do something about it. This is the work of the soul. We emerge more whole not by becoming perfect, but by becoming complete. And completeness requires the acceptance of all our parts, the light and the dark. The eclipse offers us a safe space for this encounter, an alchemical laboratory where we can look at our other self without fear, knowing that this is an essential step towards true self-awareness and the recovery of our personal power. The integration of the shadow is the key to breaking the cycle of repetition. As long as the shadow remains unconscious, we will continue to recreate the same painful patterns. The eclipse is the breaking of this pattern. It is the cosmic interruption that allows us to see the program running in the background. And by seeing it, we gain the option to turn it off. This is the true meaning of liberation, not getting rid of a part of ourselves, but freeing it from the darkness of the unconscious, transforming it into an ally. And this liberation operates on an even deeper level, the karmic level. This precise alignment between the sun, earth, and moon acts as a high-frequency portal. It's not just a physical event, it's an energetic reconfiguration. The intensity of the alignment accelerates processes that would normally take years to unfold. Specifically, it accelerates the clearing of ancestral patterns and soul contracts that no longer serve our growth. It's an opportunity to do a hard reset on our energetic matrix. The key to understanding the quality of this energy lies in astrology. In this eclipse, the moon will be positioned near the south node, also known as the dragon's tail. The south node represents our past, our heritage, the talents we bring from past lives, but also karmic patterns, habits, and attachments that we need to release in order to evolve. It is the point of purging, of release, of letting go. Energy flows outward through the south node. Therefore, the energetic focus of this portal is unequivocally on liberation, not manifestation. Trying to use the energy of this eclipse to start new projects, to make requests, or to attract new things would be like trying to swim against a powerful current. It would be a waste of energy and a misunderstanding of the opportunity being offered. The universe is not asking us to build, but to demolish, to clear the ground before new construction. Think of soul contracts. These are agreements we made on a soul level before incarnating, or even during this life, to learn certain lessons. Many of these contracts have already been fulfilled, the lessons learned, but we continue to enact them out of habit or a false sense of loyalty. This eclipse is an opportunity to declare these contracts null and void, to release ourselves and others from roles we no longer need to play. The same applies to ancestral patterns. We carry in our DNA and in our energy field the traumas, beliefs, and unresolved destinies of our lineage. A grandfather's vow of poverty, a grandmother's broken heart, the fear of persecution from a distant ancestor. This portal gives us the chance to be the endpoint of this transmission, to honor our ancestors, but to refuse to carry their burdens, freeing both them and ourselves. Surrender is the primary tool for crossing this threshold. Surrendering is not giving up. It is an act of immense strength and wisdom. It is ceasing to fight against the natural flow of life, ceasing to try to control the uncontrollable. It is trusting that the closing of a cycle is necessary and beneficial, even if the egoic mind fears the unknown. It is letting go of the steering wheel and allowing a higher intelligence to guide us through the conclusion. This is the time to make peace with endings. The end of a relationship, a job, an identity, a belief about oneself. The energy of the eclipse supports the natural conclusion of stories that have reached their end. Forcing the continuation of something that has already energetically died only creates stagnation and suffering. True courage now lies in allowing things to end, in embracing the empty space that the end creates. And this energy of completion has a very specific focus, directed by the astrology of the moment. To navigate this intensity, practice is your rudder, your anchor. The available energy is vast and can easily become overwhelming, generating anxiety and distraction. The antidote is not to resist, but to anchor. Find a place where you can feel the earth beneath your feet, whether on the grass, the sand, or even the floor of your house. Take off your shoes. Feel the texture, the temperature, the solidity of the planet that sustains you. This simple act is the first step to leaving the storm of the mind and returning to the wisdom of the body. Now breathe deeply. Inhale through your nose, feeling the air fill your lungs, and exhale slowly through your mouth, releasing mental noise. With each breath, visualize roots of light growing from the soles of your feet, penetrating the surface and deepening into the soil. These are not fragile roots. They are strong, thick, magnetic. They plunge through the layers of earth, rock, and water, seeking the molten iron heart of the planet, its gravitational center. Feel the connection establishing itself. Once your roots are firmly anchored, begin to feel the Earth's energy rising through them. It's an energy of stability, of calm, of primal strength. Feel this solidity rising through your legs, filling your hips, climbing up your spine. This energy doesn't block the cosmic waves of the eclipse. It gives you the structure to receive them without being shattered. You become a safe conductor for celestial electricity. Stay here for 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes of mindful presence. You become like an ancient tree in the midst of a storm. The winds of emotional change may howl, the lightning bolts of sudden revelations may cut across the sky, but your trunk remains firm. The tree does not fight the storm. It bends, its leaves dance, but its roots keep it connected to its source of power. You are that tree. This exercise is not an escape. It is an act of radical presence. It is your declaration to the universe that you are here, embodied, ready to receive whatever comes, but from a place of strength, not fear. Grounding transforms anxiety into usable electricity. The energy that could fry you now becomes fuel for your transformation. You stop being a victim of energetic circumstances and become an active and conscious participant. Practice this not just once, but several times a day, especially when you feel the pressure rising. Before bed, upon waking, before a difficult conversation, each time you ground yourself, you are training your nervous system to find its center amidst the chaos. You are teaching yourself that safety doesn't come from outside, but from your connection with the earth and your own body. It's an essential skill for energy mastery. This grounding is what allows the eclipse's releasing energy to flow through you, instead of getting trapped within you. Without this grounding, the released emotions and memories can create a short circuit in your system. With grounding, you become a clean channel, allowing what needs to go to flow to the earth to be transmuted. And this need to ground energy in practical actions is the exact code that the astrology of the moment delivers to us. Although the moon will be eclipsed while transiting through the constellation of Leo, a backdrop of fire and expression, tropical astrology, which governs our psychological experience, gives us another layer of information. The eclipse will occur with the moon in the sign of Virgo. This is crucial information. The archetypal energy of Virgo is what will modulate and shape the entire intensity of the event. Virgo is the call to purification, discernment, and service through the body. Virgo's energy grounds Leo's emotional intensity and dramatic expression into tangible, practical actions. It takes the grand cosmic drama and asks, okay, but how does this apply to my daily life? What do I need to adjust in my routine? What habit needs to be purified? It's an invitation to refine your daily rituals, to transform your everyday life into a sacred act, so that it reflects the spiritual growth you have already achieved internally. This is not a time for grand, empty gestures, but for small, precise adjustments. Virgo is the energy of the artisan, the healer, the laboratory alchemist who understands that transformation happens in the details. Where is your life disordered? Where are you neglecting your body, your health, your environment? The energy of this eclipse will mercilessly illuminate these areas, not to criticize you, but to invite you to put your house in order. Virgo's purification begins in the body. What do you eat? How do you sleep? How do you move? This eclipse is a portal to physical healing, to the release of toxins, both literal and energetic, that are stored in your tissues. It's a powerful time to start a detox, to adjust your diet, to listen to the subtle messages your body has been trying to send you through symptoms and discomfort. The body is our first altar. Discernment is the other key to Virgo. Amidst the emotional torrent of the eclipse, Virgo energy offers us a mental scalpel to separate what is ours from what is not, what is essential from what is superfluous. It is the ability to analyze feelings without drowning in them. To observe a pattern and understand its root, instead of just reacting to it. It is the clarity that emerges when the dust of emotion settles. This call to order is not about rigid perfectionism, a shadow side of Virgo. It's about devotion. It's about dedicating oneself to one's own well-being, with the same care a monk dedicates to his temple. It's understanding that spirituality that doesn't translate into a healthier, more organized life, present in the here and now, is merely an escape. The energy of this eclipse requires embodiment. Therefore, the great karmic release promised by this portal must be anchored in acts of purification. Cleanse your physical space. Donate clothes you no longer wear. Organize your files. Pay off a small debt. Every act of putting order in the material world sends a powerful message to the universe that you are ready for a new level of clarity and responsibility. And this preparation is vital, as the pressure before the peak will be undeniable. In the hours and days leading up to the eclipse, you may feel an internal pressure intensifying to an almost unbearable degree. It's a feeling of agitation without apparent cause, an anxiety that vibrates beneath the skin. Emotions you thought you resolved long ago may emerge with the force of a tsunami. Anger, sadness, fear, resentment. Everything that has been suppressed and swept under the rug of the psyche will be stirred up by the gravitational force of the moon in our inner waters. Remember that our bodies are composed of about 70% water. Just as the moon moves the ocean tides, it moves the tides within us. During an eclipse, this attraction is amplified and focused, pulling to the surface the emotional debris that has accumulated deep within our being. Don't think you are regressing or that your healing work has been in vain. What is happening is exactly the opposite. You are being given the chance to clean out the basement. The key to navigating this turbulent period is 1. Observe, don't identify. When the wave of anger comes, instead of saying, "I am angry," try saying, "I am observing the energy of anger moving through me." Create a space between you, the conscious observer, and the emotion, the passing phenomenon. You are not the storm. You are the sky that contains it. This small shift in perspective is the difference between being drowned and learning to surf. Treat this turbulence as a necessary purification, an emotional detoxification process. When you do a physical detox, you may experience headaches, nausea, and fatigue as toxins are released. The same happens on an energetic level. Irritability, sensitivity, and sudden crying spells are symptoms of a healing fever of the soul. It's the release of excess energy to make room for a cleaner, more authentic flow of life. Avoid making important decisions or having reactive conversations during this peak of pressure. The energy is very volatile, and your perception may be distorted by the lens of raw emotion. What seems like absolute truth in a moment of anger may reveal itself to be an illusion when calm returns. Give yourself permission to withdraw, to be silent, not to have to resolve everything immediately. Your only task is to witness your own purging. Be aware that the people around you will also be going through this. The collective energy field will be electric. Conflicts can erupt out of nowhere. Be a point of calm amidst the chaos. Don't take the bait of drama. Breathe. Remember what is happening on a cosmic level. This will give you the compassion and patience not to take the reactions of others personally. They are also in the midst of the storm. This phase of pressure is the final test before the crossing. It's asking you, are you truly ready to let go of this? Each emotion that arises is a chain you have the chance to break. By observing it without reacting, you dissolve it. You withdraw your energy from it. You are in fact rewriting your past in real time. And to do this in a structured way, there is a method that can guide you through the portal. To avoid getting lost in the intensity and to actively integrate the transformation offered, adopt a simple 3-phase method. This method structures your journey through the eclipse portal, transforming a potentially chaotic experience into a conscious process of personal alchemy. It gives you clear anchor points, allowing you to navigate with intention instead of being carried away by the tide. The journey begins even before the eclipse. Phase 1. Observation. Begin 48 hours before the eclipse's peak. This is the data collection period. Take a notebook and write everything down. Write down your dreams, even if they seem meaningless. Write down the emotions that arise during the day. Write down synchronicities, songs that repeat themselves, conversations that impact you. Do this without judgment, without trying to analyze. You are a scientist of your own soul, and your only task is to record the phenomena as they appear. Phase 2. Surrender. This phase occurs during the day of the eclipse, especially around the time of its peak. Today is not a day to force, to fight, to make things happen. It is a day to surrender. Practice the grounding you have learned. Meditate, even if only for a few minutes. Be silent. Listen to soft music. Avoid news, arguments, and chaotic environments. Above all, avoid making important and permanent decisions. You are in the middle of the portal, in between worlds. Clarity has not yet arrived. The purging is happening. Your task is to be the channel, not the director. Phase 3. Integration. This phase begins after the eclipse and lasts for the next 48 hours. The energy begins to settle, and clarity begins to emerge. Go back to your notebook. Reread your notes from Phase 1. Now, write freely about the insights that have arisen. What has become clearer? What seems no longer important? What truth about yourself can you no longer deny? From this new clarity, define a small, tiny action you can take immediately to honor this new insight. For example, if you realize a relationship is draining your energy, the action might simply be deciding not to respond to a message immediately, creating a small space of sovereignty. If you realize your body needs more care, the action might be scheduling an appointment or simply drinking a glass of water with intention. The action doesn't need to be grand. It needs to be aligned. It's the seal that materializes the energetic shift. This 3-phase method guides you from gathering unconscious information, observation, through transformative experience, surrender, to conscious application in the real world, integration. It ensures that the magic of the eclipse doesn't dissipate like a forgotten dream, but becomes a real and lasting change in your life. It's a practical ritual for profound transformation. By following this process, you're honoring yourself and the cosmic event. You are telling the universe that you are not a passive spectator, but an active co-creator of your reality. You are using the energy wave instead of being swept away by it. And the importance of this conscious participation becomes even clearer when we understand the historical layer that this particular eclipse is activating. This celestial event does not occur in a vacuum. It aligns with larger historical cycles, activating memories and themes that lie dormant in the collective unconscious. Astrologers observe that this eclipse occurs while Pluto, the planet of death, rebirth, and hidden truths, transits through a position that echoes crucial moments in history. Specifically, it refers to the time of Captain Cook's arrival in Hawaii, an event that marked the beginning of a profound process of colonization. This astrological overlap suggests that we are at a time of reckoning. Themes of colonization, not only of lands but of minds and spirits, are coming to the surface to be seen and healed. The suppression of ancestral knowledge, the imposition of one worldview over another, the exploitation of resources, and the breaking of the sacred connection with the earth are historical wounds that are being reopened, not to cause more pain, but to finally be cleansed. The convergence of the eclipse with the activity of the Kilauea volcano in Hawaii, the symbolic epicenter of this story, is no coincidence. It is the earth itself, through Pele's voice, demanding that the truth be told. The red light of the eclipse, the color of blood, illuminates these ancient wounds, bringing to the present the consequences of past actions. Truths that have been buried under official narratives are emerging, both globally and personally. In your own life, observe where you have been colonized. What beliefs and values have you adopted that are not truly your own? Where have you suppressed your intuitive wisdom, your ancestral magic, in favor of a cold and limiting logic? Where have you allowed your personal sovereignty to be compromised? This eclipse is an opportunity to decolonize your own mind and your own soul, to reclaim the inner territories that have been occupied by fear or conditioning. Healing collective historical wounds begins with individual healing. By healing the wound of suppression within yourself, you contribute to the healing of the whole. By honoring your own lineage and innate wisdom, you help restore balance in the collective field. This is a powerful time to connect with your roots, to learn about your ancestors, to reclaim practices that have been forgotten in your family. This reckoning can be uncomfortable. It may bring to the surface feelings of anger and sadness about past injustices, both personal and collective. Allow these feelings to come. They are part of the purification process. The red light of the eclipse not only illuminates the wound, it also cauterizes it, clearing the infection so that true healing can begin. It is a process of karmic justice on a planetary scale. We are being called to witness and participate in a historic course correction. The energy of this eclipse supports us in releasing narratives of victim and aggressor, and in ascending to a new understanding of interconnectedness and responsibility. It is a time to honor the past, but not to be stuck in it. It is about extracting wisdom from pain and using that wisdom to build a more wholesome future. And the changes that this brings are often definitive. It is necessary to be clear about the nature of the changes catalyzed by a powerful eclipse like this. They are not temporary. They are often permanent. An eclipse is an agent of radical change, a cosmic wildcard that accelerates evolution. Doors that close during an eclipse rarely open again. Doors that open reveal paths that fundamentally alter the course of our journey. It is a portal of no return. Relationships that are not aligned with your soul may end abruptly. Careers that have become a prison for your spirit may crumble. Internal perceptions of who you are and what you want from life may be altered so profoundly and irreversibly that you will feel like a different person overnight. The self that enters the eclipse portal is not the same self that emerges on the other side. Although this may seem destabilizing and frightening, It is, in fact, a form of divine intervention. It is the universe acting decisively to prevent us from stagnating, from remaining in situations that limit our potential out of fear, comfort, or obligation. When we hesitate to make the necessary changes, an eclipse can force our hand, creating external circumstances that compel us to move forward. It is an act of cosmic love, even if it seems harsh. A force greater than our individual will, greater than the plans of our ego, propels us toward our maximum evolution. The eclipse aligns our life with the plan of our soul, whether our personality is ready for it or not. That is why surrender is so crucial. Fighting against the changes that an eclipse brings is like trying to stop the tide from rising. It is futile and exhausting. The only sane choice is to learn to flow with the transformation. Trust that even if one door closes, it's because a much more authentic path is opening. The void created by the end of something is the sacred space where the new can be born. Mourning what has been lost is a necessary part of the process, but don't cling to it. The universe is removing what is good to give you, what is right for you, in this new cycle. Change is a sign that your prayers for growth have been heard. Be prepared for surprises. Eclipses are famous for bringing unexpected, game-changing events. The information that comes to light, the person who appears, the opportunity that arises out of nowhere. Stay open and flexible. The rigid plans you've made may dissolve, but what emerges in their place will be much more aligned with your true purpose. Life is about to get a lot more interesting. This point of no return is, ultimately, a gift. It's a liberation from prisons we may not even have known we were in. It's an acceleration on our evolutionary path, a quantum leap to a new timeline. And the impact of this change isn't just personal. It spreads like ripples on water, affecting the energy web of the entire planet. Even if the eclipse isn't visible in your part of the world, you will feel its effects. Energy knows no geographical boundaries. Centered over the vast Pacific Ocean, the largest body of water on our planet, this eclipse is intrinsically connected to Earth's emotional nervous system. Water is a conductor of emotion and memory, and the Pacific acts as the great aquatic heart of our world, regulating climates and life currents. When the Earth's shadow, the umbra, passes over this immense expanse of water, it will create a measurable energetic footprint. It's as if a giant hand gently presses on the planet's emotional field, causing a ripple that will spread across the entire surface. This ripple can trigger subtle changes in magnetic fields, ocean currents, and even the pressure on tectonic plates, especially along the Pacific Ring of Fire. The Ring of Fire is a zone of intense seismic and volcanic activity that encircles the Pacific Ocean. The passage of the eclipse's shadow over this sensitive area may act as a subtle trigger, a catalyst for the release of accumulated tensions in the Earth's crust. The synchronicity with Kilauea's activity is only the most obvious manifestation of a much broader process. Earth is using this moment to readjust and release its own internal pressures. These geophysical changes perfectly mirror the transformations occurring in our own hearts and nervous systems. Just as the Earth releases tension through earthquakes and volcanoes, we release our emotional tensions through catharsis, through moments of intense release. We are inextricably linked to the body of the planet. The healing of the Earth and our healing are one and the same. You may feel this global energy footprint as a shift in the atmosphere, a feeling of heaviness or, conversely, lightness in the air. You may notice that animals behave differently. Your own sleep patterns and dreams may be intensified. Don't dismiss these perceptions as imagination. You are attuned to the planet's nervous system, and it is communicating to you that a major shift is underway. This event reminds us that we are not isolated beings living on an inert rock. We are part of a living, conscious, and interconnected organism called Gaia. Our emotions affect the planetary field, and the planetary field affects our emotions. The eclipse is a moment when this connection becomes undeniably clear. It is an invitation to feel ourselves as cells in the body of the Earth, participating in its journey of transformation. By consciously aligning yourself with the eclipse's energy, you are not only healing yourself, you are actively contributing to the stabilization of the global energy field. Each person who remains grounded, centered, and in a state of loving observation during this transit becomes a pillar of stability for the whole. Their inner peace becomes a balm for the heart of the world. And it is this participation that activates the final phase of the process. You are not merely a passive observer of this event. You are a witness and a participant in a rare and powerful intersection between science, myth, and spirit. The orbital mechanics that science describes, the omens that ancient myths tell, and the transformation that your soul yearns for are all converging at a single point in time and space. This blood moon is the ultimate mirror, reflecting not your darkness, but your immense capacity for resilience in the face of the unknown. The red color that will bathe the moon is not a symbol of end, but of transmutation. It is the color of blood that carries life, the color of fire that purifies, the color of passion that drives creation. It is the light of consciousness that has traversed the density of human experience and emerged not diminished, but enriched with wisdom. This light is a reflection of your own journey. You have traversed your own shadows and are now ready to radiate a more authentic light. The inner eruption of truth, mirrored by the volcanic activity of the earth, is a guarantee. Something within you that was dormant will be awakened. A clarity you have sought will arrive. A strength you didn't know you possessed will become available. This event is not something that happens to you. It is something that happens through you. It is an activation, a recalibration of your system so that it can contain and transmit a higher frequency of light and truth. Open your heart to the mystery. Release the need to control or understand everything with your logical mind. Allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to be transformed. Trust the process. The universe is orchestrating this moment with a precision and intelligence that far surpass our comprehension. And it is proving, on a cosmic scale, a fundamental truth. Every shadow, no matter how dark, is merely the prelude to a new and brighter light. Dawn always follows the darkest night. The moon always returns, cleansed and renewed by its immersion in shadow. And you too will emerge from this portal, not unscathed, but whole, with a deeper understanding of who you are and what you came here to do, with a stronger connection to the earth beneath your feet and to the cosmos above your head. The darkness was merely the womb for your rebirth. If this message resonated with your heart, if you felt the call in your blood and bones, you are not alone. There are many of us awakening to the magnitude of this moment. Share in the comments how you are preparing for this journey. What patterns are you ready to release? What truth are you ready to embrace? Your journey inspires and strengthens ours. Remember, you were made for these times. Your whole life has prepared you for this exact moment of transformation. Take a deep breath. Anchor your light. The portal is opening. Cross it with courage, with confidence, and with an open heart. The new light is waiting for you on the other side. And it's already beginning to shine from within. If you've made it this far, it's because your intuition has guided you throughout this journey. You are no longer the same person who started this video. To seal this crossing and anchor your decision, leave the following phrase in the comments. I will not miss the most powerful day of the year. If this video touched your soul, I have an invitation that goes beyond knowledge. For our mission to continue and reach more minds, we need to walk together, Today, the most powerful way to sustain this channel is through an exchange. By purchasing the ebooks, you receive the keys to mental alchemy and the laws of consciousness, and we receive the necessary breath to keep going. This isn't just a purchase, it's your seal of commitment to the awakening we promote here. Without this support, our journey is limited. The link is pinned in the first comment. Let's keep this frequency active